Y'all ass wearing red again.
They gonna wear, yeah, no, this time they gonna wear black. We gonna turn to red.
Today it's a new outside coming out of snitch. So what that make y'all? The rest of you is snitches too. You hear me? Facts. I'm out the way. Making music, getting money, just signed my new deal. But look though, this was before the deal. I swear to God.
It seems like ever since Lil Durk got caught up in that federal case, things have been getting rough for some of his closest people. Many of his longtime friends have been caught in dangerous situations back in the streets, with one story now ending in tragedy. Reports are coming out of the west side of Chicago saying that Durk's close associate, THF BayZOO, was reportedly targeted in a daytime attack in the Little Village area. At first, early reports suggested that BayZOO was still alive after suffering serious injuries. But this morning, many of his friends and associates began posting tributes online, and it now appears that he has sadly passed away. This comes just a year after another well-known THF member lost his life in a similar situation, also on the west side of the city.
About the situation with the watches, right?
I'm about to bring that up with your shit, right?
Yeah.
All right, so look, they be saying that some THF took your shit, and then, they took one of your homies' watches, and that's why you kind of fell out with OTF.
I never fell out with OTF. You get what I'm saying? This was the situation. The situation was we had an OTF chat, like where we all talk.
A group chat.
Where we pull up the video, each other video shoots and all this extra. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I hit the chat. I'm like, pull up to the video shoot. I'm in the rack. You feel me? Pull up to the video shoot.
People online are already speculating about what could have led to this, and there's clear tension between certain groups in Chicago that have been very vocal online. One rapper, Lil Zama, who's been linked to these conflicts, has even made statements on social media that many believe connect to this situation. In a recent interview and on Instagram, he hinted that serious street retaliation followed a past robbery incident involving watches, and that things haven't been the same since. This ongoing conflict continues to draw a lot of attention online, and fans are now wondering how this tragic situation will affect the people close to Lil Durk moving forward. Several groups across Chicago's South Side have had long-running tensions that go back years. But this most recent wave of violence seems to have taken on a life of its own, with people putting themselves in danger over online threats and heated posts. Sadly, this latest tragedy adds to the growing list of losses the city has seen in recent months. To really understand how things reached this point, you have to look at the deep network of alliances and rivalries between different neighborhoods. THF BayZOO was part of THF, also known as Trigger Happy Family, a hybrid group based in the Woodlawn area on the south side, mainly around 46th and Woodlawn and 44th and Wells. The set includes members with ties to both the Black Disciples and Mickey Cobras. The 46th group in particular is closely connected with other well-known sets like O Block 600 and Lamron, which explains BayZOO's strong relationship with Lil Durk. Many even viewed him as one of Durk's most trusted associates. Those tight connections, however, may have also played a role in how things spiraled. Ongoing conflicts between different groups have reportedly involved another Southside artist, Osama Loza.
But like I'm telling you, it was in this group chat outside of OTF, like these other different blocks. So from down there,
Yeah.
pulled up to the video shoot. I never had no problem with them, no bad vibes with them. So you know they come to the video shoot, we kicking it. Video shoot over, I leave. I go to my hotel room. Mind you, I get off the liquor, I'm drunk as now.
Loza, who's associated with the 6300 area, was once signed to Lil Durk's OTF label while Durk was still free. Years ago, an incident involving stolen jewelry reportedly created serious tension and rumors that spread quickly online. Not long after, Loza faced legal issues involving a weapon, and many fans believe that this moment deepened the rift between his circle and members from THF and 600. This chain of events shows just how deeply connected and dangerous these street feuds can become. There was once a time when all these sides actually got along, but things reportedly changed after a video shoot that didn't go as planned. During a No Jumper interview, Osama Loza shared details about that night, explaining that he hosted a video shoot and invited several people connected to OTF through a group chat. Somehow, this led to members from THF also showing up unexpectedly. According to Osama, while he was resting later that night, some of his valuable watches went missing, and that single moment sparked serious tension between the groups. What followed was a long string of back-and-forth situations across the city, leaving fans shocked by how quickly things escalated. Right after that no-jumper interview, Osama Loza began going live several times, speaking openly about the aftermath of the situation. During one of those live streams, he appeared alongside his close friend Lil Durk, saying they were ready to defend themselves against anyone tied to what happened. Unfortunately, soon after, a series of tragic events would unfold, and many online now believe these moments might have been connected to that same chain of drama. In early 2024, a heartbreaking video went viral showing the loss of another THF member known as THFTP. The tragedy took place on the west side of Chicago on Wednesday, February 7th, around 6:40 p.m. According to official reports, Chicago police responded quickly to alerts of gunfire near Madison and Long Avenue. When officers arrived, they found 30-year-old rapper Terrence, also known as THFTP, seriously wounded. He was rushed to Loyola Hospital, but sadly, medical teams were unable to save him. What made the moment even more devastating was the footage showing he had just come from spending time with his daughter and was holding her school project at the time.
You feel me? I'm in the hotel room, I go in the room, I fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? Every night I take my watches off before I take my chains off. You feel what I'm saying? Cause I always take my watches off and put it on the table because I be sleeping like this, or I use my hands to sleep. You feel me? So I took my watches off, both of them, and put them on the front room table. You feel me? I wake up the next morning, bro, like 7 in the morning, bro. My gone, you hear me? Now, I'm thinking back on last night, they came in the room and waked me up.
The heartbreaking video spread fast, drawing sympathy and sadness across the Chicago community. Later on, when Osama Loza spoke again on social media, he mentioned that several people had been harmed following the theft of his watches. Many fans connected those comments back to this very incident, suspecting that it might have been part of that same feud. Although there's no confirmed proof linking the two, people in the city continue to believe the situation fueled ongoing street tensions that have yet to truly settle. Not long after all that online talk, a shocking new incident took place, one that many fans saw as a possible act of retaliation. This happened just a couple of weeks ago and involved Osama Loza's close friend, which led to a storm of speculation online. Some began claiming that Loza might have unintentionally put people around him in danger, even though he himself has been staying out in Los Angeles, far from Chicago. Sadly, it's often the ones still in the city who end up caught in the crossfire of ongoing street issues. The tragedy involved DMG Lil Durk, the same friend who appeared with Osama Loza on a live stream months ago, the one where they talked about standing strong after the stolen watch situation. Unfortunately, reports say that Lil Durk lost his life in a separate shooting just weeks ago, marking another painful loss connected to this circle of friends. This latest event has many people now wondering if that same chain of retaliation and tension could have played a role in what recently happened to THF BayZOO, and whether this cycle of violence in Chicago's music scene is only getting deeper. Reports started spreading yesterday about what may have led to THF BayZOO's tragic passing. According to multiple local sources, BayZOO had gone to the west side of Chicago to handle some car repairs when something unexpected happened. Around 3 p.m. on Saturday, near the 3100 block of South St. Louis Avenue, 3 men were reportedly standing in a parking lot, one of them being BayZOO, when a vehicle pulled up and shots were fired. Police later confirmed that one of the men, identified as 35-year-old rapper THF BayZOO, was critically injured and rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital after suffering several wounds to his upper body. Sadly, officials later confirmed that he did not survive. The other 2 men who were at the scene were taken to the hospital and are reportedly in stable condition. Authorities also mentioned finding shell casings at the scene, which suggested the use of a high-powered weapon, something investigators are still looking into. Following the news, fans and associates across social media began posting heartfelt tributes, expressing sadness and disbelief over his loss. What makes this situation even more heartbreaking is how similar it feels to what happened to THFTP earlier this year. Both tragedies took place outside their usual neighborhoods, areas many thought would be safer. It's a painful reminder that in cities like Chicago, where certain tensions remain high, anyone tied to these street circles must stay cautious at all times. The community continues to call for peace, hoping this will finally mark an end to the ongoing cycle of violence. After the news of THF BayZOO's passing began to circulate, emotions ran high throughout the Chicago music scene. Fans, friends, and even some rival artists took to social media to expressed shock, disbelief, and in some cases, subtle reactions that stirred even more tension. Within hours, tribute posts filled Instagram, with many sharing old photos and videos of BayZOO alongside Lil Durk and other OTF affiliates. His loyalty and presence in Durk's circle had always stood out. Like, he wasn't just a crew member, he was family to many. Still, under those emotional posts, there were also comments hinting that this might have been revenge for past situations. People began piecing together timelines, interviews, and even lyrics from both sides to suggest what might have triggered the latest attack. Others, however, urged the city to stop pointing fingers and instead remember BayZOO for his contributions to the culture, his energy, his street respect, and his role in helping put Chicago drill music on the map. In the following days, police presence around the west side increased heavily. Reports mentioned that unmarked vehicles were spotted patrolling near several known areas connected to both THF and 600 members. Detectives reportedly started interviewing witnesses from the auto shop, trying to trace any surveillance footage that could identify the shooters or their vehicle. But so far, no arrests have been made, which only added to the frustration of those close to BayZOO. At the same time, OTF's inner circle appeared to go silent online. Lil Durk, who's currently fighting his own legal battles, hasn't issued any public statement, but fans noticed he stopped posting altogether, which many took as a sign of deep grief. Some insiders claim the situation has shaken him personally, since BayZOO was one of the few who had been with him since the early days, way before fame. Meanwhile, other rappers from the city have begun addressing the situation indirectly in their lyrics and live streams. Several underground artists dropped freestyles referencing the Zoo situation, making veiled comments that fans instantly tried to decode. Chicago social media pages that follow local drill news lit up overnight, posting clips, maps, and speculation about who might be next or how far this conflict could go. Despite the hype, many voices within the community are calling for change. A few older figures from the Chicago scene, people who once lived that lifestyle, spoke out, saying it's time for younger artists to move differently. They highlighted how online feuds and live videos often end up feeding the same cycle of retaliation. Every post becomes evidence, one local rapper said, warning that too much is being shared online and it's costing people their lives. In the middle of all the chaos, new footage started circulating, showing what appeared to be moments before the shooting. Security cameras from a nearby store reportedly captured BayZOO parking his car and talking briefly with someone in the lot before the vehicle that carried the suspects arrived. Investigators are still reviewing the footage, but it quickly went viral online, sparking endless debates about whether the attack was planned or just a coincidence. Some people believe BayZOO was being watched, given how fast the car pulled up and fled the scene. Others argue it might have been random, though few truly believe that in a city as divided by old street politics as Chicago. Regardless, that footage gave people a chilling look at how sudden and unpredictable things can turn, even for someone as respected and connected as BayZOO. As days passed, memorials began appearing around the neighborhood where BayZOO grew up. Candles, posters, and murals started popping up. Fans painted his name in bright letters alongside messages like "Long Live Zoo" and "OTF Forever." Community members and local youth came together to show love, but even at these vigils, police kept a close watch, worried about possible retaliations. Those close to him described BayZOO as someone who had recently been trying to stay out of the street life, focusing more on family and music. He had reportedly been planning to release new songs before his passing, hoping to rebuild his image and take a more positive direction. Sadly, that dream was cut short before it could truly begin. Still, many are now calling for his story to serve as a wake-up call for young artists caught between music and the streets. Behind the scenes, tension remains heavy across Chicago. Sources close to OTF claim that while Durk and his team are grieving privately, they're also being cautious, avoiding unnecessary appearances and keeping their movements low-key. Law enforcement, on the other hand, continues to monitor online chatter closely, believing that more trouble could arise if cooler heads don't prevail. Industry insiders say this tragic loss could have a ripple effect on Chicago's entire rap scene. For years, artists from the South and West sides have struggled to balance loyalty with survival, and BayZOO's death highlights that painful reality once again. It's become a grim reminder that success in the music world doesn't always erase what's happening back home. For many fans, his legacy will remain tied to the message that fame doesn't protect you from the streets, and that even loyalty comes with a heavy cost in Chicago's unforgiving environment. As the investigation deepened, rumors online began to spin out of control. Some pages started claiming that the car used in the shooting was found abandoned on the city's south side, though authorities haven't confirmed that yet. Others suggested that the attack might have been connected to older street grudges rather than anything recent. The truth is still unclear, but what's certain is that everyone in the city is talking about it. Even fans outside Chicago have started debating the situation, especially after several influencers and bloggers began covering the story on live streams. Some of them questioned how someone as known as BayZOO could still move around without extra protection, while others focused on how dangerous the city's music politics have become. Every new rumor adds another layer to a story that's already emotional and confusing for everyone involved. At the same time, there's been a noticeable shift in how artists from Chicago are reacting to the loss. Instead of glorifying the violence, more of them are publicly saying they're tired of losing friends and family members. A few well-known rappers from rival sides have even liked tribute posts, something that rarely happens in this scene. That's how deep this one hit. It's almost like for the first time in a while, the city collectively paused and felt the pain together. Still, not everyone agrees on what's next. Some are calling for unity and a ceasefire between old rival sets, while others think that's unrealistic given how deep the history runs. But one thing everyone can admit, this situation showed just how fragile things are and how quickly another name can get added to the list. Meanwhile, the music industry has taken notice too. Several major labels and A&Rs reportedly reached out privately to artists connected to OTF and THF, advising them to stay out of public situations for now. The concern is not just about image, but about safety. Nobody wants to see another tragedy unfold on camera. Some insiders revealed that BayZOO had unreleased collaborations with other Chicago artists that might surface later this year. There's already talk about turning those songs into a posthumous project dedicated to his memory. Fans are pushing for it online, saying they want his final music to be heard, to remember him for his sound and not just the headlines. Whether or not that project happens, one thing's for sure: his name is going to echo in Chicago for a long time. Still, even with all the tributes and attention, the fear in the streets hasn't gone away. Those close to the situation say everyone's on edge right now, moving carefully and avoiding being seen too much. Chicago police have also stepped up patrols near certain neighborhoods, hoping to prevent more retaliation. But as history shows, when emotions run high, peace doesn't always last long. Some locals have compared this moment to the early days of the Chicago drill scene, when one tragic event seemed to lead straight into another. And yet, despite all the pain, there's a growing hope that maybe this time people will think twice before continuing the cycle. BayZOO's loss feels heavier than most, not just because of who he was, but because of how much he represented. Loyalty, legacy, and a reminder of how fragile life can be in the city he called home. As the days turned into weeks, the story of THF BayZOO's passing kept spreading far beyond Chicago. News outlets, hip-hop blogs, and even national media began picking up the coverage, tracing back the timeline of events and how it connects to Chicago's long, complicated street history. Comment sections everywhere were filled with fans debating, mourning, and arguing about who might have been involved. Even though no official suspects have been named yet, behind the scenes, a few community leaders have been quietly reaching out to both OTF-connected and THF-connected members, trying to calm things down before more damage is done. They're pushing for private talks instead of public back and forths online, emphasizing that one more loss could push the whole scene into chaos. Whether or not that works remains to be seen, but for now, everyone seems to understand just how serious things have gotten. And through it all, one thing remains clear: the entire city feels this one deeply. From the neighborhoods where he grew up to the studios where he recorded his last tracks, THF BayZOO's presence still lingers like an echo. It's a painful reminder of how fast everything can change, and how even the most respected names in Chicago's rap scene aren't untouchable when the streets come calling. In moments like that, just doing something normal like fixing your car, things can change in an instant. It's heartbreaking to think that a simple day could end in tragedy. THF BayZOO leaves behind a family, including his child and wife, making this loss hit even harder for those who knew him personally. This situation shows just how unpredictable life can be for anyone still connected to that Chicago street environment. Many of the original members from the early drill scene have either left the city, moved on to music full-time, or distanced themselves completely. And for good reason. The ones who stayed often face the harsh reality that the streets don't forget. Even Lil Durk, despite being miles away, is dealing with his own challenges while those around him face constant setbacks and danger. BayZOO's passing is a painful reminder of how important it is to step away from the chaos and protect what truly matters: family, peace, and legacy. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment your thoughts on this video.